Hi everyone, so I'm recording in my room again. Apologies for my raspy voice. I was shooting today with my cameraman in Tottenham and first of all it was really cold and I think I inhaled so much smoke. I'm getting a cold actually. I'm coughing. So I have my cup of tea here with my favourite mug. I wanted to record after our first day and actually we only managed to get 2 interviews with 2 boys, but after my cameraman had to leave because he had another shoot and we've already spent a good 2 hours in Tottenham. By the laws of the universe, we only managed to actually find someone to interview by the end of those 2 hours. So after Franco, my cameraman, left, those 2 boys, one is 17 and 19, and I went to a Caribbean restaurant. We had some food and we carried on chatting. I think I've stayed with them for like another 4 hours. So I was outside a lot today. Apologies for my voice, I have such a sore throat because everyone there on that street was smoking and I don't smoke, guys. I've never even tried weed in my life and I used to smoke cigarettes but I've given up years ago, so I'm not used to that kind of smoke. Anyways, it's not about me now. So I'm recording because I want to share some insight. Honestly, today was life-changing. I have so many thoughts. I'm meant to go to sleep tonight because I have to wake up for my corporate job tomorrow. I have to wake up at 6. It's already past midnight. So actually, the boys that we interviewed, and I'm going to blur their faces on video, and I really want to interview them again properly, each of them. And obviously, I'm not going to show their real faces. I'm not going to give you their real names because I don't want to get them in trouble, and I really appreciate the fact that they've shared so much with me. And I'm not doing these interviews for views. I'm doing them because I genuinely want to raise the issues and understand what's happening in their community. You never know who's going to end up watching my videos. And the universe works in mysterious ways. Who knows, maybe an MP will watch one of my videos. Who knows, maybe some government official, or maybe someone who can actually help these boys. They're brothers. One is 17, the other one's 19. The one that's 17 got stabbed 3 times in his lifetime by the age of 17. So a couple of days ago he was stabbed. Yesterday he was in hospital and he even showed me the wound. She showed me the medication that he got given. I'm like, that's insane. You're supposed to be in hospital. But he said, I can't because I have to get money. I have to earn money. I can't be in a hospital. I can't afford to be in hospital, Lina, he said. I said, are you in pain now? Do you know what he said? His response killed me. He said, I'm in pain every single day. Every single day, Lina, I'm in pain. And it's not even just about the wound. And that got me thinking. So we carried on talking. He said, I'm in pain, always. Because I'm living this life and I want to get out of this life, but I'm afraid I'll never be able to. And I'm afraid that I'm stuck in this forever. And he said, do you know what? I don't even have any fears. If I get stabbed tomorrow, if I die tomorrow, I don't care, Lina, because I've already seen so much. I'm 17 and I don't even want to live anymore. All I want is I want to help my mum, because when I was young, my dad used to abuse her, and when I was a kid I would watch that all the time, physically abuse her. Like, there was a lot of domestic violence when he was a kid, and he said, and I hated the fact that as a kid I couldn't protect my mum and I couldn't stand up for her. So now, I asked him, what is your goal in life? And he said, my goal, and you're going to see it in the interview, he said, my goal is to earn money and to make my mum happy. That's my goal. This is a 17-year-old boy, guys. 17. He said, I dropped out of school because I needed to help my mum. I needed money. And he has many siblings, by the way. He said, I've been doing drugs since a very young age. But nowadays, he said, I'm in a gang. And I'd like to get out of it, but I can't. Because if I get out of this gang, if I even try to get out of this gang, the leaders of this gang, and mind you guys, this interview today was filmed in Tottenham, and he said, if I try to get out of this gang, he didn't specify the gang, and I never asked, and I don't think it's safe to ask anyway. I don't want to know which gang it is, because I'm not here to do an investigation. I'm not a police officer. I'm not trying to catch criminals. I just want to understand. I study behaviour, guys. I'm a psychologist. This channel is about understanding behaviour. This channel is not about judging people. This channel is not about catching criminals. It's about understanding human behaviour. It's about understanding what causes people to act or choose to act in certain ways. That's what I find interesting, right? And if my life goal is to help people, it's not to judge anyone, it's not to catch criminals. So obviously I didn't ask him what gang it was, right? But I just know that it's North London. So he said, and once again, this is another reason why I'm not disclosing his name and I'm not going to show his face. And I'm actually avoiding a lot of detail here because I want to protect the boy and I want to protect his brother. So he was stabbed 3 times in his lifetime. And he told me, I want to get out of it, but if I try to get out of it, the gang leaders will chase my mum. That will put my mum at risk. They will come get my mum. And I don't want them to get my mum. And I'm so deep in this lifestyle now, he said. He's selling drugs on the street. I saw it today. I was with him on the street today. I saw 10-year-old kids selling drugs in Tottenham. And Fireman was right. We should have waited until 6. Oh my God. That area transforms into a completely different place. So when you go to that high street at Seven Sisters at like 3, 4, it's dead because everyone's either sleeping or they're at the gym or the school kids are in school, but a lot of them have dropped out. I saw 10-year-old kids on the streets of London today selling drugs. I'm not going to give their names. I'm never going to show them on camera. But all I want to say is, guys, I work in Mayfair. My office is in Mayfair. What I find crazy, what I find insane is you can take a 20-minute tube ride from Green Park to Seven Sisters, and that will be a completely different reality. What I find crazy is we're living in London, right? It's one city, but the reality that you have in Mayfair and Green Park and Hyde Park Corner in Knightsbridge is so vastly different from Seven Sisters, Tottenham. And they're like 20 minutes away from each other on the tube. That is insane. I fled a country where 18-year-old kids were being drafted. Guys, I can't sleep now because I'm thinking about this kid. I was messaging him just now, asking him, how is your wound? Are you taking your meds? Please make sure you take your meds. And I gave him my number and I said, if there's anything, if you ever get stabbed again, please call me. I will take you to hospital. But he told me, he literally said, Lina, I can die tomorrow. I could have died that time when I got stabbed 2 days ago, because had the knife gone 2 inches deeper into my organs, and it already was in his organs, he said I could have died from internal bleeding. And guys, this is London. This is 2026. Once again, we all live in the same city, all of us, but our realities are so different. This is what I find insane. So I fled a country where 18-year-old boys are still being drafted to fight in a war. London is one of the most international capitals in the world. This is not just about the UK. I fled it for a country to live in the capital where they have postcode wars between teenagers, between 17-year-olds that stab each other. Because you guys tell me, why are they stabbing each other? Why are they doing this? And this got me thinking actually today. And let me just address this before I carry on sharing what the boy told me today, right? This had to be one of the most insightful days I've ever had in my life. That conversation that I've had with the boy and his brother, and the conversation with his brother is something else. I have to do interviews with both of them because the world needs to know. And there are so many kids like that, not just in North London, not just in East London, not just in London. There are so many in the countryside. And I feel like not enough people are talking about this. And anyway, so why are these boys stabbing each other then? So actually, I want to ask him that when I see him next time. Is it because it's a culture? Is it because the areas where they live don't have enough job opportunities? That's one of the factors. Is it because there's not enough support? But I guess it's also family, because the boy himself told me my dad was super abusive. I asked him, have you ever had a male role model in real life? And he told me no. I was like, what about your dad? He said he used to beat my mum up, and I would watch that as a kid, and I would want to stand up for my mum, but I couldn't. And now his mum has a stepdad, and they don't have the best relationship. He doesn't even want to go home. I feel like a lot of those kids end up engaging in these criminal activities as well, because at one point, if something is happening in the family, be it abuse, very often it's abuse, those kids become so vulnerable to influence. There's so much grooming on those streets, guys. And I was just on one high street today. I haven't even explored all of it. And my cameraman had to leave, so I ended up staying. I wanted to carry on having that conversation with the boys, and I wanted to feed them. Not that it's a motherly instinct, but first of all, the boy has an open wound. We are now living in 2026 in London. There are 10-year-olds selling drugs on the streets, and there are 17-year-olds stabbing each other, and they're walking around with open wounds. And what are we doing about it, guys? What are we doing about it? Let me get to that in a second, but what I want to say is, so a lot of them, from my understanding, and I would love to read more from people, and I'm not an expert on knife crime in London. I'm not a youth worker. I mean, I've worked with kids before, but I never worked in CAMS or social services. But from what I understood today, a lot of them engage in this because there's so much grooming. And guys, there's so much grooming. Oh my God. I've spoken to a couple of people. Once again, I can't disclose their names. I think one probably is like a gang leader. So many suspicious people in that Caribbean restaurant. Oh my God. So many. Some were staring at me actually. And I was the only white girl in the restaurant as well. Maybe that played a role for them. I don't know, but those two boys, they're both ethnically Jamaican. I think it's a mix, but yeah, I'm white. I'm not even from the UK. I'm an immigrant. And I kept telling everyone today that, guys, I'm not even from the UK. I'm not even British. I came here to study initially, and then I just stayed. And I can't even go back to my country now because it's at war. But it's not about me once again. It's just when we were in that shop, people were giving us looks. And I was just talking to them. I was talking to the boys, and then a couple of people, some of those men engaged in the conversation, but some of the looks that I got today, it was literally like a scene in Top Boy. It genuinely was like a scene in Top Boy. A couple of men came up to me being like, oh, why are you asking these boys? What do you want from these boys? But the aura that they had, they could have been gang leaders. I don't know. But all I can tell you guys is there must be a reason for why 17-year-olds engage in these activities. There must be a reason for why these kids drop out from schools. It's not because they enjoy life. And a lot of people that saw my Instagram story today when I posted about the boys started blaming them, saying stuff like, oh, it's their own fault. You can't help people who don't want to help themselves. I can even read you what some of the people texted me. But all I want to say is, guys, try to remember what your life was like, what your experiences were like when you were 17. You were 17. 17 is still a kid. Oh yeah, I think that's him messaging me. 1 second. Yeah. So he texted me. I asked him whether he took the medication for his wound. He said yes, he did. I even offered to take him to hospital. I got the impression that he doesn't realize that this is actually serious. An open wound like this is serious because you can get an infection. Guys, this is what I mean. They're only 17. These kids are 17. They don't know life. And a lot of them have dropped out from school. Like, they lack general knowledge. And once again, there's so much judgment. Why the fuck are you judging kids? Excuse me? Judge politicians. Judge the MPs in the area. Judge the local adults who are indifferent, who walk past this when they see young kids selling drugs. Judge them. Why are you judging kids? They are kids. They don't know life. They haven't seen life. A lot of them have grown up in dysfunctional families. A lot of them have never had a role model. I've asked every single kid on that street today. Some were 10, mind you, 10 years old. I've asked every single one of them, have you guys had a male role model in your life? And all of them told me, no, we haven't. They haven't had a single male role model in their life. And that's what I think is the problem. And I just find it insane that people, I'm actually going to read the messages that I saw today on my Instagram after I posted the stories. I find it crazy that people blame these kids. They blame them. What are you blaming them for? They're not even 18. Some are 9 and 10. Try to remember your thinking process at that age. They don't know anything in life. Like, they're very young. And I asked him today, I said, if you had enough money on your bank account today, would you stop this lifestyle? He said, yes, I would. But the issue is, I can't quit it, Lina. Because even if I try to, the people in my gang will get to my mum, and my mum has other kids, and I can't do it. He said I would quit it if there was a safe way for me to get out of this. He said that to me today. He said, but I need to find a source of income. But I said, darling, you need to go to school. You need to be in school. You're only 17. You were robbed of your childhood. You didn't have a childhood. You're a child. You're 17. You got stabbed 3 times in your life. Guys, I can't believe this. It's 2026. I'm checking up on 17-year-old kids, asking if they went to hospital to check up their stabbing wounds. What the fuck is this reality? This is 20 minutes away from central London. What the fuck are we doing? And people come up to me and tell me, oh, life is so boring. I don't know what to do with my life. I'm so bored. We have so many problems that we need to resolve. Wake the fuck up, people. We have kids selling drugs, doing county lines. Like, what the fuck? Seriously, he texted me saying, it's up to you whether you want to take me to hospital. And also, can I just say, so I fed them. We went to this Caribbean restaurant. And then after we got like these suspicious looks, we went to a park. I'm not going to say the name of the park because, once again, I don't care about my safety. I clearly don't, as you can tell. I was in Tottenham on my own as a white woman in that area. I was the only white girl in that park. And it was all men. It was just a bunch of men and me and those 2 kids. I don't care. You can clearly tell I don't care about my safety, right? I don't give because, guys, I've seen enough in life. I'm scared of other things. The only fear I have in life is losing my loved ones. That's the only fear I have, right? So we went to a bench and we just had a conversation. And the boys started asking me about me, like my life story and what I do. And I told them some of the stuff. Like I told them, look, I know 18-year-olds that died in a real war. I told them that, you know, there's a war between Russia and Ukraine now. And what I find insane is that I know 18-year-olds that died in a war. And we are in London. And there's a war. There's a silent war. This is what I told the boys today. I said, there's a silent war happening in London and no one talks about. Kids stabbing each other. Guys, it's a war. This is serious. Today, I saw a child with an open wound. He's a child. A child. And when he called up his parents, well, his family, once again, I can't say who it was. They didn't believe that, and I wish I could record this. I swear on my life I'm not lying. When he called up his family today, they didn't believe him. They were like, oh, you're lying. You didn't get stabbed. Why the fuck are you lying? And I looked at him and I was like, this is nuts. This is nuts. I wish I could adopt you. Seriously. But I'm not even a UK citizen to be doing these things. But I wish I could actually adopt you guys. I think I hugged him about 3 times today. We were on the high street and he was with other kids. They were selling drugs. And I was standing next to them. And I was talking to him. And his brother was there. His brother was doing weed, like smoking weed. And I can't unsee this, guys. 10-year-old kids selling drugs. This boy, he said, I'm in pain every minute of the day right now because of the wound. But it's not even just about the wound. Psychological pain. He is so lost. And I saw girls today as well, by the way. Teenage girls selling drugs. And no, guys, don't give me all of this. Oh, it's the government. Don't just blame everything on the government. I saw indifferent people walking past it. And I think the problem isn't just the government or the local MPs. The problem is all of us. The problem is neutrality and indifference. That is the biggest problem, because I haven't seen a single adult come up to us today and ask us or those kids, oh, are you okay? Do you maybe need something, or is everything all right? Well, the boy told me it's just normal. It's just the reality of Tottenham. You know, I just asked him, like, do you know any other way to live life? He said, no, that's the only way to live life and to make it. So for him, it's just so normal. To sell drugs is so normal. To see brothels, right? To see gangs, all this violence is just so normal because he grew up in this. And that's another part of the problem. So whenever you guys say, oh, well, you can't help. I literally had people tell me today on Instagram, you can't help everyone, Lina, stop it. Like, do you really have nothing else to do? Just accept it? No, guys, I can't fucking accept the fact that we have 17-year-olds getting stabbed, walking around with open wounds, and they get discharged from hospital. I can't walk past it, guys. And the fact that I saw so many people today walking past it, that kills me. So I think we are the problem. The indifference, this neutrality, that's the problem. And as I'm talking about it, I'm getting really emotional and I'm just gonna hold myself. But what I saw today, 10-year-old kids selling drugs, that is not okay. I grew up in a Russian ghetto. The place where I grew up, I saw kids literally shooting heroin, like injecting heroin, injecting crocodile. Google what crocodile is. It's a Siberian drug. I grew up in a really bad environment. But this is something else. And the worst part about this, what's happening in London and Tottenham, the worst part about this is the indifference. It's the fact that it's so normal. People walk past it. Maybe it's because they're scared. Maybe it's because they don't want to dig too deep. And actually, one of the guys today told me, don't dig too deep because you'll get really disappointed if you find out who's on it, if you find out who is benefiting from these young kids selling drugs on the street. He said you will really be disappointed in the system, in everyone in the world. Like, your view on life will be if you find out who's on it. And I'm still thinking about what he meant by that, but it's just, you know, it's as if he assumed that it's the police. He kind of like said it in a way that made me think, does he mean the police? But no, that's crazy though. I can't assume that. And guys, this is not okay. This is not okay. It's 2026. No one's talking about this. But I think it's also about the culture. And just like I said, it's being normalized. It's normal in those environments. It's normal in those places. But it's also a culture that's being promoted through gang music, through gang violence. And for those kids, another problem is that there's a lack of role models. And I'm going to read what people said on Instagram to me. And someone said, but oh, come on, they can use the internet to find role models online. It's not the same, guys. You absorb that heavy environment when you live in it daily, when you grow up in that environment, when you haven't seen anything else. If that's the only environment that you've been exposed to, well, of course, it's going to be very difficult for a 17-year-old kid to imagine what life can be like. That you don't have to stab other people and rob people's bikes to earn money. And I'm going to get onto his brother now. I'm going to talk about his brother as well. But what I find insane is we were sitting in this park. We were having Jamaican patties. And we're just sitting on a bench. And, you know, that food bag, that little plastic bag from the food, it flew off the bench. And he ran after it to pick it up. He said, oh, don't worry, I'm going to bin it. I'm going to bin it, Lina, don't worry. And I haven't even said anything. He ran after that bag. He picked it up. He walked like 500 meters to find a bin, and he binned it. He said, we have to protect the environment. That's a 17-year-old kid that is in pain right now. He got stabbed a couple of days ago. He left the hospital. He said, I can't stay at the hospital. I have to earn money. I have to sell drugs. That kid is bright and intelligent, and he has so much potential, and I saw it today. And I don't give a what you guys tell me in the comments. I'm gonna have a lot of people telling me, oh, they're just losers. Like, I had someone tell me, oh, he's just bragging about his wound like it's a medal. I can tell you, he's super bright. I spoke to him. He's very smart. He has so much potential. But the environment that he grew up in, it's so limiting. And he never had a single role model. And guys, for little boys, it's very important to have an adult male role model. It's very important. And if he was exposed to an abusive father, well, come on. And once again, I'm not saying that it's okay to stab people. I'm not saying it's okay to rob people's bikes. This boy, after we had those patties, he said, well, when I asked him, when we were having a conversation, I was telling him about my life. I said, so I actually fled a different country, and I was even married at one point, and my ex-husband tried to kill me, you know, and like, I told him about that. He couldn't believe me, because when he started telling me about his abusive dad and his mum, I told him my story, and he was genuinely shocked. And I asked him, so after I leave, what are you gonna do? Like, where are you gonna go? And he said, well, I'm gonna probably go rob some bikes. I'm gonna probably steal some phones. And then I have to sell drugs because I want to help my mum because she has many kids to look after. And also I need to earn money. And I said, I'm sorry, little boy, I can't imagine you robbing other people. He said, Lina, that's what I do. This is so dystopian. This is just insane. He actually showed me his wrist and he had broken knuckles. This guy, guys, I had very deep conversations with him. He's so smart. He dropped out of school. He didn't even get basic GCSEs. How is he going to find a job? Tell me. And the reason for why he dropped out of school is because he needed to earn money. And also he said, I can't go home because I don't feel safe. He told me about his stepdad. Once again, I'm not going to share. I already feel so bad for sharing this, but essentially he can't go home. So his family environment isn't the best. And yeah, I'm getting a cold. This, I don't give a guys. It's not about me. Trust me. So he said that tonight he's probably going to go rob some bikes. Well, steal some bikes, rob some people, steal some phones. And then he's going to find people to sell that to. He's going to earn some money. Guys, I can't believe it. This boy is so bright. This is insane. This is absolutely unbelievable. And I can't accept that we can't change this. I can't accept that we can't help them. I can't accept that this is supposed to be normal. I'm never going to accept this. I fled a country where 18-year-old boys are being sent to the front line to fight in Ukraine. And London, there's a war happening here. And the UK is officially not at war with anyone. So why do we have 17-year-olds engaging in warlike activities? This is fucked up. This is some next level of fucked up. I was sitting on a bench in a park with them, having some Jamaican patties with chicken, and he ran after that plastic bag. He picked it up. He went to find the nearest bin and he binned it. So don't give me all of this, oh, these boys are so dumb, oh, like, they're just lost in life. Even if they are lost in life, have any of you tried to go to Tottenham and speak to them? Have any of you gone there to find out what the issue is, what the core of the problem is? Why are they doing this? Have any of you tried to do anything about it? I guarantee you no. You're probably just out there writing comments. Oh, yeah, it's their own fault. Yeah. Let me read what I received on Instagram today. This is insane. Don't even stress yourself. Can't help people who don't want to help themselves. We can't save them all. He doesn't care. It's not worth it. Oh, they're taking drugs. It's just the reality. Accept it. They fight each other. Gang life pays, but do the crime, do the time. People don't randomly stab people, just so you know that. There's always a way out. No one is born to a gang. They probably think they're too good to stack shelves in Tesco, go clean windows, cars, pick up rubbish, work for free, do an apprenticeship. These North London kids won't tell you the truth. Well, I had a lovely conversation with them today. And why are they smoking weed? No one's going to save them. They should have stayed in education. Yes, I agree with you. They should have stayed in education, but they had no one by their side to tell them that. So why are you having a go at 17-year-old kids? Jesus Christ, come on. They need to help themselves. Honestly, I can't read this. A lot of you guys are so fucking toxic, for real. And no, I'm not excusing this kind of behavior. And once again, I also feel really bad for the victims that have their bikes and phones stolen. I've had my phone nearly stolen a couple of times, but because I do boxing, I managed to stand up for myself. But guys, I don't recommend doing that because a lot of people that try to steal your phone actually carry knives and you don't want to get stabbed over your phone. But once again, guys, something has to be done about this. So look, my question is, if this is not changing, then someone must be benefiting from this, right? So who's benefiting from this? And once again, I'm not here to dig and do investigations, but a lot of those kids are super bright. And if I talk about his brother, so his brother is unemployed. He's not working. He smokes weed all day long, 24/7. He told me, Lina, I'm trying to find a job. I want to find a job. Like, help me find a job. It's really hard. I'm getting rejected. And guys, I believe him. Do you know why? I've got 3 degrees. And thank God I have this full-time job in the corporate world now, but I'm about to graduate and I'm already looking for internships in behavioral science. I'm looking for internships and jobs in behavioral science. And can I tell you that? I have 3 degrees with work experience, a couple of years of work experience, top degrees from top global universities, first class with distinction. I've been to career fairs, I've been to networking events, and I'm telling you, someone like me with 3 degrees is finding it hard to find a job in the field that I want to find a job in behavioral science. So, of course, boys that have dropped out of school, that have 0 qualifications, not even basic GCSEs, of course they can't find a job. Because even to get a job in Starbucks and Tesco, you have to have a degree. You have to have GCSEs, like in English and maths at least. And many of them have dropped out. So what are they meant to do? Tell me. And a lot of them don't even know how to write a CV. They don't even know how the process works. I saw a 19-year-old boy smoking like 6 blunts today in the space of 3 hours. And his brother is dealing drugs. And he's giving him weed for free. And once again, guys, this channel is not about judging people, especially kids. Yes, some of them engage in criminal activities, but I'm still not going to judge them because they're kids. I'm going to judge their parents. I'm going to judge the system. I'm going to judge all of us. And I'm going to judge the local community, the local people that live there. And the people that are indifferent. But I'm not going to judge those kids. Because I'm sorry that a 17-year-old kid hasn't even seen life. So what the fuck are you telling me on Instagram? Saying all of this stuff. This kid is so bright. Had he had a chance to go to a private school, had he been born in Chelsea, I guarantee you his life would have been so different. He probably would have had a job by now if his family had connections. Had he been born in a family where his father didn't abuse his mum physically, his life would have been different. I promise you that. And I'm sorry, guys, had he been born into a white family somewhere in Chelsea, his life would have been different. And once again, guys, I'm white as well. I'm an immigrant. And trust me, I know nothing about what it's like to be a black kid in Tottenham. I know nothing about it. I want to learn more. Clearly, that's why I'm going to these places and I'm talking to people firsthand at the front line, right? But it's not easy. There must be a reason for why a kid engages in this. Try to understand it. Try to be more understanding. And once again, of course it's not okay to steal bikes. Of course it's not okay to rob people. But I just can't even believe I was having food with him on this bench today. And he told me, well, I'm going to go and steal some bikes. I'm going to try to sell them because I need to help my mom, Lina. And I don't know, like, where am I supposed to get money? He said, well, if I try to quit, just like I said, if I try to quit the gang, and if I don't do what the gang tells me, what the gang leaders tell me, then my mom's going to be in trouble and I will get killed. And he said, I'm not even scared of being killed anymore, Lina. I'm tired. I'm genuinely tired. And I really want to get him to speak to me more about this. But guys, I don't know how many views this is going to get. If any of you know how I can help him, please tell me. Because it's now past midnight and I'm struggling to fall asleep, genuinely. And I don't know how politicians and other people sleep. Maybe they just keep telling themselves, oh, it's the kid's fault. Or maybe they just keep telling themselves that, well, a person can only be saved if they want to be saved and all of that stuff. Maybe that's how we sleep at night. But for the rest of the day since I've left, I just keep thinking to myself, how can I help him get out of this lifestyle in the safest way possible for him? And his brother is struggling to find a job. So if anyone who's watching this now, if you can help, please reach out to me either on Instagram or my email or write something in the comment section. But how do we deal with this? How do we get them out of this lifestyle? And guys, it's scary actually. Tottenham is a very heavy place. Like psychologically, it's very heavy. And during the day is okay, yeah, just like we said, just like Franco and I described it in the first video. It's okay during the day, but after 5 it changes. It's a very different place. It's very heavy, and growing up in a place like that, I can't imagine it. I left that when I was 13. I left an area like that when I was 13, But I just think also, yeah, I worked hard, but I was lucky. And my family encouraged me, my family pushed me to study and work. Like my grandparents, they were and still are my role models. And I had role models to look up to in real life. I've had people supporting me along the way and telling me, look, look at that drunk guy injecting heroin. You don't want to end up like him. That's why, Lina, you need to go and study. That's why you need to get your education. That's why you need to carry on working hard and grinding hard daily. That's why you need to have discipline. I've had someone like that. I've had many people like that as a kid. That's why maybe I didn't sell drugs on the street, but a lot of those kids don't have that. That's the problem. They don't have a role model. Who is their role model? A guy selling drugs on the street. Like, they go outside, right? Imagine, they fled domestic violence, some of them, right? There's abuse in their home, and who do they turn to? Of course they're going to turn to the guy that is grooming them into this lifestyle. They're going to turn to a guy on the street that's selling drugs, that's going to groom them into it and be like, well, if you help me out on this, I'm going to give you this money and then you can go buy yourself some food. Some of them can't even afford food, guys. This boy today told me my best friend lives with a mum. Quoting him, he said, who's a crackhead. So his friend lives with a parent who takes drugs. He's also in the gang. So guys, the life stories of these people, a lot of you are judging them, but you haven't lived a day in their reality, right? So please try to be more understanding. That's what I want us to do on this channel. I want us to understand behavior instead of judging it. That's literally the motto of this channel. Turn it down with your judgmental statements, please. You're not helping resolve the issue by labeling people. Try to see through the problem. Try to understand the core of it, right? Give me solutions. All of you are such smart asses. Give me solutions then. How do I help this kid? How do I help his brother find a job? Any people out there willing to hire them? Any people out there have any ideas how to help me and how to help them? How do we get them to quit this lifestyle? Please, I have real people who are going through this. So shut up with the judgment. Please stop it. Give some real solutions. Otherwise, shut the fuck up. If you're not giving real solutions, get lost, please. I'm tired of it, genuinely. And once again, his brother is very smart as well. If I get them off those drugs, and if we find a job for the 19-year-old, right, I'm sure he'll do well in life. But what I'm worried about is the 17-year-old boy. He has an open wound right now, and he literally told me I can get stabbed tomorrow again. If I get told by a gang leader that I have to go stab someone tomorrow, I'm going to do it. I have no choice. Otherwise, I'm the one who's going to get stabbed. And these are the laws that they live by. These are the rules that they live by, right? And a lot of us don't understand it. So another problem is the lack of communication, the barriers. We don't know how they live. We don't know their reality. We don't know the consequences of their actions or paralysis, right? Of the actions that they are taking or the potential actions that they are not taking, right? I'm sharing this because I just think that we are the problem. We are the problem. The people that decide to just switch off, to not think about it. It's the people that tell themselves, oh, we won't be able to resolve it anyway. Like, what's the point? What's the point in even trying? It's the government. You guys just need a person to blame. What you want is to find someone to blame so that you feel better, so that you don't have to worry about anything before bed, before you have to fall asleep, so that you can just say, oh, it's Rishi Sunak or it's Sadiq Khan's fault. Okay, what have we done? What have we done collectively to change this? And this is just one of the issues in London. And this is just London. I'm not even talking about the countryside, guys. The stuff that's going down in Birmingham, in Leicester, up north, don't even get me started. This is London, right? Whenever people tell me, oh, I'm so bored. Oh, I don't have any meaning in life. Or I don't know what to do with myself. There you fucking go. Do something useful, please. And look, I get it. A lot of us like to complain. And once again, this is another reason why I hate complaining. I am now thinking about this kid. I'm going to go to my corporate office tomorrow And I'll have colleagues complaining about a deadline, complaining about how someone said that, or they didn't like what someone did, or I'll be thinking about this boy. He has a fucking open wound. There's a risk of him getting an infection if he doesn't take his medication on time. He's scared of going to the hospital. He's scared of the gang leaders. And guys, when he signed up for this gang, do you really think he knew what it was going to be about? Do you really think he knew about the repercussions? Do you really think he knew about the consequences? Do you really think he knew what the gang world was about? I guarantee you no. Of course not. But at the time, he probably just didn't see any other way. He was groomed, most likely. And there are so many groomers out there. There's so much grooming going on there, guys. And it starts really small. It's like, well, let me buy you a meal. Let me do this for you. I don't need to explain it to you guys. And also, he was so open with me today. And, you know, I actually told him, look, I'm going to blur your face. I'm not going to give your name. And I'm going to keep it a secret. Like, I'm going to keep it private. But had it been someone else, he actually would have put himself at risk even more. So this just goes to show that he's still so naive. And he's very vulnerable, and so is his brother. His brother was so high. He was so high on drugs. And guys, it's actually very scary. It's super scary. That environment is full of predators. It's full of people who want to groom them into this lifestyle. And they are vulnerable because they already have experienced so much abuse in life. And they don't have role models. So this is literally the combo. This is the worst combo you can have in one sentence. No role models, groomers, drugs around everywhere, so much crime, lack of social services, lack of opportunities, high unemployment rates, which is going to get exacerbated by the fact that we have AI now that's replacing everyone. The fact that they are minority because they're black, they are underrepresented in society, in their communities, everywhere, right? It's already super hard. They dropped out of school really young. They don't have the knowledge that a lot of us have. They don't have the understanding of general concepts about society, about how society operates, because they dropped out of school really young. They don't have education. Some of them have never been in employment, so they don't even know how it works. They don't know how to write a CV. They don't know these things, right? You guys are out there. A lot of you posh pricks watching me right now, probably like writing all these comments that are so negative, judging them, but you haven't lived a day in that reality. Go there, experience it for at least half a day, and then we'll have a conversation, okay? And also, a lot of these boys and girls, I saw girls today as well, by the way, once again, they've never had role models, so they don't know, they don't have an example of someone who quit that and started life differently in that environment. I'm pretty sure there are people like that, but they don't see them. What do they see when they go outside on the street? They see drug dealers, they see police, they see gang violence, they see stabbings, they see other kids on playgrounds selling drugs, brothels, and then indifferent people that don't give a fuck. It's the shopkeepers, it's the staff that work at restaurant, it's the police, it's the passerbys, it's the maintenance workers, it's the builders that walk past. They don't say anything. They don't check in. They don't ask them, oh, how are you? Are you okay? Like, do you maybe need help? Maybe if they had someone that just went outside with them for a little walk, or if they had someone maybe who bought them some food, or just who maybe asked them like, hey, how are you doing? And made them feel like, you know, they are actually capable of something bigger, and let them know that, you know, there are other ways to live this life, right? Maybe if they had a stranger come up to them and talk to them, you know, have a human to human interaction. Maybe if they had someone who asked them about how their day was, or what their worries are, what their concerns are, maybe they would start to believe in themselves, and they would start to believe that they are worthy enough of changing their life. They're worthy enough and they're capable enough to find that job, to also start a business, to also become someone who's more than just a drug dealer, right? But a lot of them have never had that because everyone's indifferent. People don't care about each other. People don't give a fuck about each other. Like, this is insane. Genuinely, maybe if those boys had some man come up to them and ask them, look, do you need help with anything? Do you want to get out of this, right? Maybe they would agree and maybe they would genuinely believe in themselves. There's not enough of that, not that I'm aware of, right? And they've told me that no one really cares. They only get offered food if someone wants to groom them. And they were genuinely just shocked that I'm not bragging once again. And I'm not doing this for views, guys. I really don't have to do this. I have my job. I'm okay. Like, I can just live life, travel, and do pleasurable things, but I just don't get enjoyment from that anymore. I get enjoyment from helping people, right? So they were genuinely speechless when we had food together. And guys, once again, I'm not Caribbean. I'm not from Tottenham, right? I was the only white girl in that park today. Right? We had about 40 people there, all men. Everyone was black. I was the only white girl. And they were just speechless. Those boys were like, we've never had this. Like, what? This is what? Like, why are you giving us time? Do you not have to be somewhere? Like, and I took a day off work today to film and to speak to them and to do this. And we're definitely coming back. We're definitely going to come back and do this again, but we're going to do it on the weekend. We're going to do it on Saturday. Franco actually had to get insurance for his camera. It's insane. But guys, this is what I mean. I just want to encourage all of us to look at this from a different perspective. It's more complex than just basic labels. The reason for why a lot of us assign these labels is because it just makes it easier to live. It's because if you assign labels to people, to concepts, to problems, if you just find someone to blame, then it's easier to fall asleep at night. You don't have to sit on the fucking floor, think about this and record it on camera past midnight when you have to wake up at 6 in the morning for your corporate job. You could just say, oh, yeah, it's because that politician, or because it's those kids that are to blame. It's their own fault. They are to blame for this. It's just easier to live that way, right? If you make it black and white, but it's not black and white, guys. It's a spectrum, and I encourage you all to look at it through that lens. I will go to bed now worrying about him and his brother because he has an open wound. He could literally get an infection. This is very serious, and he told me, I know other kids that have died from this. This is 2026, guys. We're living in 2026 in London, the world capital. What the actual fuck? This is not okay, and I'm not accepting this reality. And I don't know how many views this video is going to get, but please, if you can help somehow, tell me what I can do. Because how do I help them? I don't know. I don't have experience with this, but I just want to help them get out of this, right? Both those boys are so bright. They are so bright. And if you know, had they stayed in education, their life would have been different. They are so smart, guys. And the fact that this boy picked up that bag, that food bag, the plastic bag, he picked it up. He went all the way to bin it. And then later he told me, well, I have to go rob some people tonight. But the fact that he picked up that plastic bag is just so surreal. Like, and I genuinely enjoyed talking to them today. I genuinely enjoyed it, and they're both so bright. They have so much potential. It's being wasted. Genuinely. Anyway, I'm gonna close this video. We're definitely gonna do an interview with them. I'm gonna make sure that their identities stay protected and their names are protected. I'm definitely blurring their faces. I'm not revealing anything about them because I'm not going to put them in danger, because one of them is a gang member and I do not want anything to happen to them. So this video is probably very long, but guys, we have to raise these topics once again. We're not talking about this. There's a silent war happening in London and everyone's just indifferent. Thank you for watching.